Time is flying by. We could probably sit here for 2 or 3 hours and keep talking about this fascinating subject. And like Tim said, you know, we've talked about, a lot of people may find it uncomfortable, but that's the point. Sometimes, to move forward, we have to talk about things that might be uncomfortable, but that's what we're doing tonight, trying to open up our minds and take all this in. One of our regulars is on line 7, and that is Reverend Fuzz. Hi, how are you, sir?
You hear me okay?
I certainly can. What do you have to say, sir?
Okay, well, I think you could talk about this for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's very, very brave of you to even open the discussion. I remember doing race relations study circles, there was a man who said he was growing up and blacks played in his yard and there was never a problem. Nobody had a problem about, no, he went and played in their yard. He went and played with them. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, but have you ever thought about the fact that they never came to play in your yard? And sometimes we don't look at that. And not only is there a problem with racism in America, but it's a problem with women, with all kinds of things. We've got that problem. So when you talk about in the schools, whose truth are you going to teach in history? Which truth are you going to tell in the history books? Will you tell that the airplane wasn't invented in America, but maybe in Japan? I'm not saying that's so.
Right.
But when the guy talks about no racism, remember in Oak Ridge when they hired all the scientists, something like 3,800 scientists, not want to work on the atom bomb. Not one of those scientists was African American. So racism is in America. I'm surprised. I started in '73 talking about it. Mm-hmm. And here we are still 50 years later. In Memphis, remember how all the whites moved out of neighborhoods and left their churches, their homes, and everything because the schools were integrated? And one question for your guest, Roy, I hope you'll answer.
Yeah. The
statue or the bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest, I asked Google who he was, and Google wouldn't tell the truth. I had to wonder about that truth. So I said, whose truth are we going to teach about in the schools? So I want to ask you, should the bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest be moved from the state capitol, or should it have ever been there before? And who would you replace it with? What truth? That's my question. Thank you, Roy, for doing this.
Thank you, Reverend. Appreciate it.
It's always good to hear Reverend Fuzz's voice. It's been many years since I heard him and been in his presence, so it's good to hear him. Of course, the bust of Forrest should never have been there. It should be removed. It should be melted down, as far as I'm concerned, or smashed to pieces. I see no point in honoring someone who was among the first Klansman and a terrorist, and helped to oversee the killing of black soldiers at Fort Pillow, and fought to maintain a system of vicious enslavement and white supremacy in the state capitol. So it should be removed, at the very least put into a museum, but I'm not even sure it should be there. I see no reason to honor this man. I think the bust should be replaced with a bust of Diane Nash, perhaps, or Bernard Lafayette, or John Lewis, or James Lawson, some of the folks that were so central to the sit-in movement, and I don't think have been adequately honored in this town since. Any of those would be a superior choice. And I find it fascinating, once again, who are the people? Because when you say this kind of thing, you'll always hear people on the right will say, well, Forrest, he was a Democrat, and the Confederates, they were all Democrats. Well, first of all, I'm not a Democrat, so I'm not here to speak for the Democratic Party, but I will say this. It's fascinating to me that the Democrats of today are the ones who are saying, get rid of that stuff. We don't want that stuff. We don't support that stuff. The ones that are defending the neo-Confederate movement, the ones who fly that flag, the ones who defend Confederate symbolism are the ones who tell you they're the party of Lincoln. How can you be the party of Lincoln and wave the Confederate flag? I'm just fascinated that they would want to keep that bust there, considering what a horrible, evil Democrat Nathan Bedford Forrest was. My goodness, maybe you ought to take it out for that reason. Whatever reason will get him out of the Capitol, I'm good with. Whatever reason you want to go with is fine with me.
All right, let's go to another one of our regular callers, and we just got a few minutes left. Let's go to Lucy. Hi, Lucy.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Well, listen, this is my take on it.
Okay.
Yeah, take Forrest out.